I'm Sahil, better known as the Demon Stealer, and I am the frontman and founding member of Demonic Resurrection.
Hi, this is Mephisto. I play keyboards for Demonic Resurrection. I've been with the band for close to 10 years now. I joined sometime back in Jan 2003. Yeah, it's been good so far.
I'm Daniel Rego and I play lead guitars in Demonic Resurrection. I joined the band sometime in mid-2008 and I'd known Sahil for the past couple of years before that. I had spent a lot of time playing guitar over there because there were a lot of guitars there. And then sometime in 2008 when the previous lead guitar player left, they called me down for an audition and I auditioned and that was it. I played my first show with them maybe a month after that.
Hi, I am Virendra from Demonic Resurrection and I play drums in the band. I've been playing drums since the year 2000. I've been playing with various bands and primarily playing death metal style. And I joined Demonic Resurrection in 2007. That is when their previous drummer JP had left the band and they were looking for another death metal drummer. So I fit into the style. Since then I've been playing with Demonic Resurrection.
Hi, this is Ashwin and I play bass for Demonic Resurrection. I joined the band in February 2012. It actually started after a gig that I played with Dia. It was a gig called the All-Star gig. So I got a call from Sahil and he invited me over for the gig. So I jammed with the band like 2 or 3 times. They were quite impressed by my playing. They were in the hunt of a new bass player. He asked me like in February or something if I'm ready to play for Dia.
The idea for Demonic Resurrection actually first came up when I was in college and I had just sort of gotten into playing guitar and I sort of formed a little makeshift band with a friend of mine, and I kind of wanted to explore and play music that my friends weren't really into, which was the more extreme stuff like Death and Fear Factory and Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir. I actually spent 2 years in college looking around for a drummer for a long time, and I had already sort of thought of the name Demonic Resurrection and I had come up with the name Demon Stealer for myself. And it was around 2000 when I ran into an old school friend of mine called Prashant Shah, who was actually able to help me put together a lineup. Actually at one point I had contemplated going on stage with my PC and my drum machine and playing along with the computer, but luckily I was able to put together this lineup, and that's kind of how Demonic Resurrection started off.
I've always been into this kind of music, metal music, since I was very young. When I started out playing guitar, I started out, looking to be a metal guitar player, or a rock guitar player at least. My first couple of bands were not metal bands though. I had an alternative rock band and I also played for a while in a gospel rock band. A lot of people don't know that. Before that I used to play guitar. I've been playing guitar since 1999, since I was 9 years old basically. Yeah, but Demonic Resurrection I'd say was my first major commitment to a band. My first show with Demonic Resurrection was at the Resurrection 2008 festival. It was my first show. I had no idea how to dress for a show. So I wore this t-shirt and jeans, black t-shirt and jeans. It looked good enough. We got on stage, everything was fine. The lights went out and then I happened to look down and I noticed my shirt was glowing in the dark. And I was wearing a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt for that show. So I actually ran off stage, pulled another t-shirt from someone else. There was a band called Mindsnare who was selling their new t-shirts there. So I just pulled one right there, put it on over the existing t-shirt and came back on stage because I was wearing a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt, which would have looked really stupid.
I grew up listening to a lot of commercial music. In fact, even now I listen to a lot of popular music, if you want to call it. But if you were to go through my phone, my music player, you will find only metal on it. So I'm kind of narrow-minded when it comes to my metal. I like a very specific genre. I like groovy, symphonic, catchy kind of metal. My favorite artist would definitely be Dimmu Borgir, the early 90s bands from Norway and Sweden. So currently I'm listening to a lot of Soilwork, but before that my influences were majorly Isan, Emperor, Dimmu Borgir, Old Man's Child, all these Norwegian bands.
It's been quite a turbulent journey after that. Especially the first 1 year was extremely stressful in the sense that we had a new lineup every gig almost. But despite that, we still went ahead and released our first album just about 9 months after forming. I recorded that completely at home with very little knowledge about recording and stuff, but it was well received. We played a show in Bangalore at the National Law School to launch it, and we sold out the entire first batch of CDs. I actually remember sitting with my mom and sticking the Xeroxes on the CD inlay, you know. So it was quite an experience the first year. Somewhere down the line around 2002, the band sort of again went downhill. We had a lot of lineup issues, and it came to a point where it was just myself and Hussein in the band. But after that, I think DR took a turn for the better. It was almost a whole year that we didn't play any shows. We managed to get JP on drums and Mephisto joined us on the keys, and that was sort of the rebirth of Demonic Resurrection, so to speak. We kind of had a good run with that lineup. So it was Hussein, Daniel, Viru, Mephisto and myself. For 2 years we worked and we recorded the album The Return to Darkness. We got signed to Candlelight Records. We played 2 international festivals after that. We also released our first music video. We played a tremendous amount of shows in 2008, 9 and 10. So there was a lot of touring happening.
Demonic Resurrection basically doesn't follow any genre of music. It doesn't fit into any of the traditional metal formats, like it doesn't fit into traditional black metal, death metal or symphonic metal, which is why we've kind of created this new genre, as we would like to call it, called demonic metal, because everyone comes with various influences in the band. So I come from a black metal, symphonic metal background. Demon Stealer listens to a lot of new music, a lot of death metal is what he's into recently. Viru listens to a lot of Meshuggah, gent kind of music, and Daniel has jazz and God knows what other influences. So yeah, all these influences come together to form what is demonic metal, which is an interesting mix of different genres. No, I don't think there has been a definite shift or increase in popularity for Demonic Resurrection or metal as a genre in general, because we played some festivals abroad. I would say we've been exposed to a greater audience, a more global audience, thanks to the Golden Gods Award, these international appearances. But in India itself, the scene is what it is. It is growing, but I wouldn't say it's a commercial success. You can never make a living out of playing metal. You've got to do something to put food on the table, yeah, then.
First international fest we played ever was the Inferno Festival, and I think for all of us it was literally like pinch me I'm dreaming, because you know, we've been in the band for 10 years now, but all of us have been listening to metal for about that much time. You know, we've seen Inferno Festival grow as a festival over the 10-year period. We've seen our favorite bands play there. We've watched videos online, and because the kind of music that is played at Inferno Festival is very close to what we play, I would say that festival is a little closer to our hearts than most of the other festivals. So being able to play there, just experiencing the festival, was a complete highlight for all of us. We really enjoyed those 4 days in Norway. I think that was like, and that was the first festival we played, and we got a good response. It was fantastic. I'm out of words to really describe that experience.
We played Inferno and Brutal Assault Festival in 2010. I think Inferno was a complete dream come true, literally for me, because I kid you not, I have dreamt about playing at Inferno. Like, I've had a nightmare. In fact, it wasn't a dream. I had a nightmare. I think I've only shared it with a very few people. I would like to bring it out right now. I basically had this nightmare where the band was playing at Inferno, and I am somewhere stuck in a treetop with trying to balance a keyboard. I don't know, this is a bizarre dream, and I keep having these adventurous, nonsensical dreams. despite not doing any drugs or hard liquor. So yeah, this was a nightmare that I had, and when we actually landed the Inferno gig, I was like, holy crap, this is a dream come true. I hope the nightmare doesn't recur, but the experience was phenomenal. I did not expect the kind of reaction that we got there. The fans were really enthusiastic. Immediately after the show, we were mobbed by guys who were at the set and said, best band of the day so far. And you know, it's really encouraging to hear stuff like that. You don't really know what to expect in an international festival. It's a very new audience. They haven't seen you before. Indian audiences, you know, you see familiar faces in the crowd. So even Brutal Assault Festival, like we had the crowd going, they were chanting along with us. Big high, both festivals.
I personally have never been able to stick to one band, or I could never say that one band alone has influenced me musically or otherwise. I would say it's been a bunch of bands, you know. When I started out, it was Metallica, it was Iron Maiden, Pantera, Sepultura. Then I heavily got into a Fear Factory phase, and at one point Fear Factory, Marilyn Manson, White Zombie were kind of my idols. Then I kind of moved on, and it was Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir, Old Man's Child. Then after that I went into a death metal phase where it was Deicide and Cannibal Corpse, and then a power metal phase where it was Blind Guardian, Camelot, and you know, a whole bunch of other bands. One band, if I had to kind of put down a name, I would say Strapping Young Lad is one of the bands that really influenced me a lot. Devin Townsend was my idol for like the longest time. And the funny thing is that it's only about 4 of his albums that actually really still till today I love to listen to them. Most of the stuff he did after that, I mean, it's awesome, it's amazing, great music, very revolutionary, ahead of his time almost, but it just never sat with me. So for me it was Strapping Young Lad, and it would be the album City that kind of did it for me.
The next step for Demonic Resurrection would be going and playing more shows abroad, playing all the major festivals. If we get to play every year, that'll be great, or you know, every alternate year, and basically spreading our music to a much larger audience than what we have right now. Plus trying to promote metal music in India so that we have more audience here. We'll always have more audience in India because of the population.
I think from here, Demonic Resurrection has a long way to go still. For me, Demonic Resurrection is my life. It's what I want to do today, it's what I want to do 20 years from now. So my plan is to continue to write music, to play as many shows as possible. You know, eventually we will get where we want to go. You know, we've got an album in the works now. We are going to start recording once we come back from Bloodstock Festival in the UK, and we're going to definitely work on some more tours and shows after that for next year especially.
My name is Rahul Hariharan and I play the drums for Bhayanak Maut. I've been playing with Bhayanak Maut for 9 years now.
I'm Venkat, I play guitars for Bhayanak, guitar actually.
Both?
Bhayanak Maut, and I've been playing with the band for the last 9 years now.
Hi, I'm Aditya and I play guitars for Bhayanak Maut. How long have you been in the band?
From 2006.
Yes, 6
years.
6 years.
Hi, my name is Sanit. I am one of the 2 singers of Bhayanak Maut. I have been in the band for almost 4 years now. Joined in 2008.
My name is Vinay. I am the other vocalist of Bhayanak Maut. I've been with the band since December of 2003.
Band started 9 years back and it was actually these guys who I used to work with. Jason and Sriram, it was their idea, but then Rahul joined the band and it was kind of stupid, like a troll project, but it kind of became what it is right now after Rahul joined and we kind of got serious about music. And then it's just been like one audition after the other. There was Vinay, there was Aditya, there was Sunny, and recently Swapnil. So it's been quite a funny journey for us. We didn't expect it.
9-year journey, almost 10 years. It's hard to believe still. But yeah.
From pissing off people for fun to doing it semi-professionally.
As a band member, as far as metal goes, it's there have to be grooves in the songs. There has to be a certain amount of feel or emotions. If you're talking about music as a whole, just like I said, the emotion in the song. Like I listen to a lot of different genres of music. I'm extensively into post rock, the grunge era, the alternative era, a little bit of pop and rock. But music as a whole, I would say emotion and feel is what I look at. As long as it strikes a nerve in me, pretty good.
2003, our first show was on the 13th of November 2003. Raspberry Rhinoceros. It was Venki's birthday the next day, Children's Day. I had a history exam the next day, I remember. But yeah, it was our first show at the Raz. A lot of fun. That was our first show, and from then
it sucked.
It sucked. Yeah, it sucked. We played what, 8
Because
songs.
you were not a child anymore.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
But it was fun. So at least we got on stage and we did stupid things. We were off time and all that shit. I mean, we started somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah, that was our first show. With the initial lineup, which was Jason on bass, Sriram on vocals, Venki on guitar, and me on drums, I think we played about 3 or maybe 4 shows with that lineup.
Yeah, with that lineup.
And the last of that being, I think, Moodai, and Moodai 2003, like sometime around December. And after we were looking for a new vocalist, so at Moodai, Vinay came up to us, and we had known Vinay through Jason. Rather, Jason knew Vinay as a friend. Got introduced to him at Moodai, met with him over there, and said we'd audition him, and we called him over for an audition at home. He came, he sang Deftones, and we were very impressed, and Vinay was in the band. So that happened, I think, Jan 2004, and then Jason very soon after also left the band. So then we had Vinit Barucha who came and played bass at that point. So it was sort of Venki and I were the only guys from the previous lineup. There was a new vocalist, a new bass player, and that lineup lasted for quite a while, till about 2006.
Yeah. And when it was actually when Vinay joined was when it started taking shape it started making sense as a band, and we were writing songs that were interesting. So we thought, at least this is going somewhere.
And we started sounding tighter for some reason. So yeah, that started happening.
So once that happened, and then Aditya joined us, and musically we again took a new direction, which has just been fantastic. And Sunny joined us from ATC as well. And
in 2008. 2008.
So
Yeah.
this we didn't ever imagine it would be a 2-vocalist band and things like that, but it's just been perfect. It just come together perfectly.
Kind of fell in place, yeah.
And then Vinit left the band, and then Swapnil joined us. Swapnil, who's now our most awesome bass player.
The first couple of years, the sound was kind of dictated by what Venki would bring to the table. After Aditya came on board, the sound has changed for sure. Having 2 guitarists is fantastic because both Aditya and Venki's influences show on the BM tracks. I kind of agree with Sanit on the sound that we had earlier on and the sound that it is right now. Like the rest of the band has said, I don't think there's any specific genre that we fit into. But when people do ask me, what kind of genre is BM? I say, look, dude, it's metal, but there's a lot of groove. There are influences of thrash. There's influences of death metal. It's just a whole, like this mishmash of different styles of metal, but at the end of it, it's something that's in your face, it's intense, and we love making that kind of music. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, and most of the time I get like, okay, fine, yeah, but that's what it is. If we don't, it's metal, it's just in your face metal, and as long as it's intense and brutal, we kind of know it belongs to us.
Your
We felt very strongly about the fact that a lot of people don't read the lyrics for the songs, and people just look at you and say like, dude, but kya ga raha hai tu yaar? Nobody understands a word you're saying anyway. So are they really like, you're serious? Like they got lyrics for these songs? Not to counter that, but the fact is we said we need to give people a reason to kind of understand where we're coming from and why these lyrics exist. So we said, look, let's write short stories. Now, Sanit is a fantastic short story writer. He's a fantastic writer. I really admire the fact that he's able to put down into words fabulous thoughts and beautiful sentence structures. And I said, let's both give it a shot. Let's write short stories. The brief that we gave ourselves is really simple. We said, look, we have to get people to read these stories and feel extremely uncomfortable. If we're able to pull that off, then I think we've done our job. The thought was, okay, let's do 6 short stories each. Each story would be a blueprint for the lyrics of a song. We started in June of 2011, and so far we've got about 8 stories out. We put it up on a blog, and we got people to start reading the stories to give them a fair idea of what we're doing and why we were doing it. And well, the response has been, the response has been interesting so far. You have a lot of people who out there who just say, oh, it's awesome, you guys are gory, this, well, it's got people talking. The good thing is it's got us excited about the songwriting process too. And why this works for us is because it gives us a reason to bring something interesting to the jam room. The rest of the guys in the band are like, they're backing us 110% on this. They love the idea behind what we're doing. And if you're doing a concept album, it's something that's not been done before. At least we're interested, collectively we're interested in the fact that this is something new for us. We'll go in knowing exactly what we're doing. We'll try our best to make it work. And if all goes well, we're going to be seeing a book and 12-song album. So that's going to be pretty interesting for an Indian metal band.
We got to play in Norway, and that was a huge break. I mean, it's something we've been striving for a long time, to break internationally. Not just to go and play internationally, but to see if this music actually works outside India. Like, I mean, in India, we'd been playing for so long, like about, I don't know, up till that point, 7 years, 8 years. And fans had heard our music, but like, what did people outside think of this? It was really exciting. The whole journey, like from getting our visas to actually, like, for some people in the band, they were traveling out of the country for the first time. So it was very, very surreal. And this first show for us, and in Oslo, it was a very, very, I don't know, just thinking back about it now, it was just perfect. Like, we couldn't have asked for a better show.
It was intense. And we were tense because Swapnil had just joined the band.
Yeah.
So it was not really a good place to be. And for a change, you could have sensible conversation with people who were wearing black t-shirts. Yeah, because the average age over there was 21 and above only allowed into a concert. Like, you have to be 18 and above to attend a concert. So there was not too much of the moshing and all that happening, but people were actually standing, listening to the song rather than what we have come to expect over years. So in that way, it was quite a good job.
People actually, instead of going nuts and not caring about what's playing, they took time out and heard, and the immediate feedback, like when we were hanging out after the gig, it was just amazing. And people
that was pretty cool.
But
the best thing is, I mean, it felt really good. We played on day 1 of the festival, and we got to stay. Sorry, we got to stay there for day 2 and day 3, and we keep going to the venues to watch all the bands and the other bands play. And it was crazy. And yeah, we'd stick out like a sore thumb, obviously, in Norway, where like 6 Indian guys walking around. They're like, hey, Indian band! Seven. Hey, Indian band, you guys are awesome. Okay, and like almost everyone, I think, who saw us live there came up to us and said that. that really felt great. Like, I mean, we honestly had zero expectations going into the show. We just said, let's just go there, play our tightest set and see what happens. I mean, this is our first show. Let's not try and like, let's just see what happens. Like, we had no idea what was on the other side. But having said that, like, with zero expectations going in, like, it really felt good because a lot of people seemed to like what we were doing. So yeah.
And set aside the fact, set aside conversations about elephants and snake charmers being mistaken for Demon Stealer, being mistaken for Amit Sehgal. Yeah, it was a good show. So the new Bhayanak Maut album should be out by the end of the year. And it's going to be a concept album, 11 songs, and each song is like a mini story in itself, leading to a much larger story. And what we have tried to do is have two parallel stories where the music itself is conveying a certain message in relation to the story, while at the same time the lyrics have something else. And we've tried to have something common that runs through the song musically. Maybe patterns or melodies, something, chord progressions. So it's different than what we have done previously, content-wise also, taking a little bit of flavor from whatever we have done in the past, and at least we're trying to add something new to it. So let's see how that heads.
And finally, earlier it was just music. Now I think we've matured enough to get to a stage where we tell stories musically. First time, but the way it's shaping up, it's just looking really good. I mean,
yeah,
it will be brilliant.
Being a band for so long, I think we've reached that level where we can actually translate. Like, Bhayanak Maut is about the intensity. We're a very intense live act, and we've always wanted to sort of bring that onto record and to be able to do that. We've done that with our last album, and like, we just want to keep topping ourselves. So we're hoping this album as well, we'll be able to capture that intensity in the way we see it, in the way we feel it, to be able to deliver it the same way. So yeah, that's what this new album is going to be about. Definitely faster and heavier than the last album. So yeah, like, I'm really excited to get it out.
Thank you.